Aspinall has been asked to vacate the heavyweight championship. Now, that got put out by someone, and then that got picked up by Josh Thomson. And Josh went with it. Then another someone comes in to correct Josh's assertion on the original author, deeming that it was a troll account. But it's very rare in MMA. Believe it or not, it is very rare that something's false in its entirety. It generally does come from something. It's very hard to keep a secret in this sport. You can telephone, telegraph, or tell a fighter. The word's going to get out. Now, I was asked to participate in something. Put your dream card together for the White House event. It was a dream card, but then, like, you know, within the realms of reality. Like, you don't put George St. Pierre versus Khabib. Like, you know, what do you think it could be in conjunction with what do you hope it is? And I had a real outlier. Supposed to be like my hot take of the day. And I put Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane for the Interim Heavyweight Championship. And I thought, like, this was going to be, you know, hot take, guess what, Chael? So then Ian Parker gets asked the exact same thing. And Ian Parker on his card projected Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane for the Interim Heavyweight title. So I don't believe there's a scenario where Tom is going to be stripped. I do believe that there is a scenario, specifically the White House card. Like, if it doesn't happen on the White House card, then this probably isn't a conversation that we need to have. But I do believe there's a scenario where an interim title could go, and in the report that was deemed to be a troll, it said that Tom was asked to vacate. If the belt was to come off of Tom, it would be something polite like that. It would be something polite like you're being asked to vacate, right? We're asking you to resign so that we don't have to fire you. And the reason that I'm very confident that if anyone's going to be shown grace, it's going to be Tom. The reason I'm very confident not only is because of what Tom had to go through to get there. Like, if you remember that timeline, Tom went through hell. It was a very unlikely scenario that he went through to earn the distinction of being champion. But also, he was hurt with a technique that is not allowed in the cage. That's very different. It really is very different than if somebody comes out with like this training room story. You know, I was in practice and now my shoulder hurts. Which may or may not be exactly what happened, but it's very different when it's in the cage. It just is. It's just different, right? You have sanctioning, you have rules, you have all these things in place to keep that person safe. That person is now not safe. It like just kind of changes the dynamic slightly. And that watered down statement, watering down that Tom was asked, in some ways made it more believable. Like, I don't fault Josh Thomson for believing this. Not only do I not fault him, I don't know that it's entirely wrong. I do think there is legs to the idea of Pereira at heavyweight. I think there is very strong legs to the idea of Pereira on the White House card. And if Pereira was to go on the White House card and he was to go at heavyweight, who do you put him with? And what's the point of doing it? Has there ever been a champion in the history of the UFC to change weight classes but not fight for a belt? No. And if that riddle confused you, what I'm saying is there ever been a champion that's a sitting champion that leaves the division, still is champion, didn't vacate, remains champion, fights in a different weight class where it wasn't for a title? No. I don't think there's any room that Pereira would fight Ciryl Gane just because. I don't think. I believe there would be a belt up, and I believe that an interim belt could be appropriate. Like, I want to pick my words because I do have grace towards Tom. And So I don't want to be insensitive about that, but an interim belt is very different. It means just that in the interim, in the meanwhile, as we get on with it, right? So there wouldn't be anything bad there towards Tom. I don't even know that would bother him, quite frankly. And he wants to fight Ciryl, and at UFC 300 he wanted to fight Pereira. So if those two fought, Tom would fight the winner of Ciryl and Pereira. I mean, in many ways, it would give Tom what he's already said he wanted. We're speculating, I guess, but we're running out of time, right? Speculation is the most fun we can have, and the clock is ticking. And of all the things that we've heard about the White House card, we can't reconcile them. They cannot all be accurate. It's going to be nothing but title fights. There's only going to be 6 to 7 fights. Connor's coming back. Jones versus Pereira for no good reason, and we want to see the match. Like, they just can't all be true, and we're running out of time. Pereira put out an interview recently, and he did talk about heavyweight again. And whether Pereira is going to heavyweight or not, Pereira is not a guy that does what we call troll the media. If you hear it from Pereira, that's the way it is. He does not troll. And whether you believe that Pereira is going to heavyweight or not, whether that's the conversation, Pereira just did an interview where he talked about heavyweight, but more importantly, it's what he didn't talk about. And never in this interview or the one before that or the one before that has he talked about Olberg. So, for that reason, as we've still got a little time on the clock to get our guesses in, I do believe that Pereira is going to be on that card. Very much so. I'm quite sure Pereira is going to be on that card. The question is, who is it going to be against? And if Pereira is talking about heavyweight, I don't believe that he would go up just for a match. I've never seen a champion, and neither have you, to leave his division for anything less than a championship. So where is that championship going to come from? Is it going to be an interim title? You could do that very easy. Would it be an undisputed title? And to do that in conjunction with Tom, to call and ask Tom, are you okay with this? Do you agree? That's a very realistic scenario.